Hello everyone, welcome back to another video of my channel. I am Kishalay. I hope you all are doing well. So I hope from the thumbnail you get to know about the topic of today's video. So this is a video regarding the overall placement scenario in IISc Bangalore for this year placement, that is placement session 2023 and 2024. So if you're following my channel closely, you know that I have prepared around 4 to 5 videos regarding placement statistics in different departments in IISc Bangalore. Like I have prepared video about AI department, CDS department, CSA department, signal processing department. So all those videos are there, and there I have talked in detail about that particular department. That's how many students got placed, which are the different companies have visited, how many students each of those companies has taken, what is the CTC and base salary. So everything is there for those particular department in those videos. So if you haven't watched those videos yet, I'll request you that you can go and check it out. The link I'll be giving in the description. Now coming back to this video, this will be a overall overview about the placement scenario in IISc this year. And in this video, I'll talk about different companies which has visited the campus, what was the base and city salary that they have offered, what are different roles that they have offered, and for each role, what was the eligibility criteria and what was the selection process. So that will be there in detail in this particular video. So this is not a department specific video, rather I'll talk about different companies that has visited the campus across different departments. So if you want to know detail about it, please stay tuned to this video till end. And before starting the video, as I always say, if you are new to this particular channel, please subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon so that when I upload new video, you'll get instant notification. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button. Without any delay, let's get started into today's video. So now the first company that I will talk about is NVIDIA. This time in IISc, NVIDIA has visited the campus for on-campus placement. And they offer two types of role. Now, one is hardware engineer or ASIC engineer, and second one was system software engineer. So if you know about NVIDIA is a system-based company. So that's why this kind of role is expected from NVIDIA, that they will offer something related to hardware or system. So that's why they have offered hardware engineer and system software engineer. For both the roles, their eligibility criteria was same. That is, the qualification has to be B.Tech, M.tech or dual degree. And the branches that they were actually accepting is CSE, ECE, electrical, VLSI, microelectronics. So if a person has B.Tech, M.tech or dual degree or from these departments, he or she is eligible for appearing for the placement interview. And the CGPA cutoff was 8 CGPA, which is quite high for IISc, because in IISc, typically people don't get 8 CGPA. Now, the placement process was online test, followed by a technical interview, and finally the HR interview. The base salary for BTech student was 16 LPA, and for MTech and dual degree, it was 17.75 LPA for both the roles. CTC for BTech people was 44 LPA, and for MTech or dual degree, it was 51 LPA. Next company that I will talk about is Ola. So Ola has offered 5 types of role in IISc for the IISc Bangalore students. The first role is mechanical engineer for MTech and PhD students from mechanical engineering branch. So the CGPA requirement was 6.5 CGPA, which is quite good. It's like for everyone. Who has more than 6.5 CGPA, they can appear. And I think most of the students in IISc Bangalore has more than 6.5 CGPA. And the skill set was that you have to be a mechanical engineer and you should have a MTech or PhD degree. And there is another role which is electronics engineer, that is for electronics branch student. Again, MTech and PhD from electronics branch, and CGPA cutoff was 6.5 CGPA. For both the roles, for MTech students, base salary was around 12.72 LPA, and for PhD base salary was around 16.5 LPA. And for both the roles, for MTech students, CTC was 14 LPA, and for PhD student, CTC was 18 LPA. And the selection process was first, they have done CV screening, that means CV shortlisting. Then there will be a pre-placement talk. Then there will be an online test. Then there will be a technical interview, and finally there will be a HR interview. Third kind of role that they have offered is a research engineer role. Again, the CGPA criteria was 6.5 CGPA. But here, the skill set that is needed was Python and relevant libraries like TensorFlow and PyTorch. So most likely this role is for data science, team. And again, another role that they have offered is machine learning operations. Again, requirement is kind of similar, 6.5 CGPA, and skill set was Python and relevant libraries a student should know like TensorFlow and PyTorch. Here, base and CTC salary is like base salary is 20 LPA for both the roles, and CTC was 22 LPA. And selection criteria is same. First CV shortlisting, then pre-placement talk, online test, technical interview, and HR interview. final role that they offered is a machine learning researcher. Here also, CGPA criteria is 6.5, but the skill set is that you have to be very good in Python, TensorFlow, PyTorch, machine learning and deep learning paradigms. Here the base salary is 23 LPA and the overall CTC is 26 LPA. And again, selection criteria was similar. I mean, CV shortlisting, then pre-placement talk, online test, technical interview, and agent interview. So these are the 5 kind of roles that Ola has offered for IISc students this time. Next company I'll talk about is QUALCOMM, and QUALCOMM has come up with so many roles for IISc Bangalore students. I can see there are 9 roles that QUALCOMM has offered for different branches students in IISc Bangalore, and the package is almost similar for different roles, but different kind of roles that they have come up with different branches student. So first one is engineer ML system or AI ML engineer. So this is for who has master degree in computer science, machine learning, AI, data science. So this was the criteria, and CGPA has to be 7 and above. And the base salary was 17.5 LPA and the CTC was 41.3 LPA. The next role is engineer in multimedia system, that means multimedia system engineers. Here again the CGPA has to be 7 or above, but the student has to have experience in image or video processing and computer vision. Here also CTC is 17.5 LPA and base salary is 17.5 LPA and CTC is 41.3 LPA. The next is engineer modem firmware. This is a system level role. So this is for the master students in EC branch. And again here the requirement is CGPA has to be 7 and above. So here also base salary is 17.5 LPA and CTC is 41.3 LPA. Next is engineer in RFIC design system. So this is for PhD and master students in electrical engineer who has worked for RF or analog IC design areas. So these are some specific areas where might be electrical students are working on. Here also, base salary is 17.5 and CTC is 41.3. Next is engineer modem system. So here again, the students who have done masters in electrical engineering in the communication and signal processing areas, they are eligible and their CGPA has to be 7 and above. Again, base and CTC salary is same, 17.5 and 41.3. Next is senior engineer in modem system. So for the last one was engineering modem system, but is senior engineering modem system. So here, again, master students are allowed or PhD students in electrical engineering who has worked in communication system and signal processing, they are allowed. Here the CGPA requirements again 7 and above. But here salary structure is a bit different. The base salary is 21.6 LPA. And overall CTC is 4.8 LPA because this is for PhD students. So that's why the salary is a bit higher. Next, there is engineer for software developer and hardware developer. Here again, there is no such restriction on different branches student. Everyone was allowed. But the CGPA criteria was 7 or above. Here the base CTC was 15.5 LPA and the base salary was 15.5 LPA and CTC was 29.3 LPA. And the last role that they have offered is senior engineer in multimedia or Excel system. So here, if someone has done their research and developed some image or video processing algorithm, or maybe they have done their PhD in computer vision, so these kind of students are allowed to appear for the interview. And their CGPA has to be 7.5 or above. So all the other roles, the CGPA criteria was 7 or above. But for this last role, the CGPA criteria was 7.5 or above. And here base salary that they have offered is 21.6 LPA and the CTC was 54.8 LPA. And for all these roles, the selection criteria was same. So there has to be an online test first, then there will be a technical interview, and finally there will be a HR interview. So these are 9 roles QUALCOMM has offered to different branches of students. Next one is Samsung Semiconductor Research India. So they have offered 2 types of role for IISc students. One was hardware, digital and analog, and software role is also offered for embedded and communication system. So their requirement was CGPA has to be 7 and above and there shouldn't be any backlog. The base salary that they have offered is 16 LPA and the CTC was 31.8 LPA. And the selection criteria was that there will be first a pre-placement talk, then there will be an online test, followed by a technical interview, and finally there will be a HR interview. The next company that has visited the campus is Mercedes-Benz, and they have offered 3 types of role. First was postgraduate engineer trainee in AI, ML, and data science. So the requirement was 6.5 CGPA with no backlog, and you have to have some master's degree where you have worked in data science and machine learning related areas. And the base salary that they have offered is 18.8 lakhs per annum, and the CTC was 20 lakhs per annum. The next role that they have offered is again postgraduate engineer trainee, but this is general CSIT role, where again the requirement was 6.5 CGPA with no backlog, but you have to have your master's degree in engineering technology with some specialization of software engineering, data science, analytics, machine learning, computer vision, and the different other things that they have mentioned. Here the CTC that they have mentioned is 15 LPA. I don't know how is the base salary. And finally, again, the postgraduate engineering trainee or PGET in embedding system. Here also the CGPA criteria is 6.5, but the required skill set was that you should have some hands-on in embedding system. And here also the offered CTC was 15 LP. I don't have any idea about the base salary. And the selection process was again pre-placement talk will be happening first. Then there will be an online test followed by a technical interview, and finally there will be a HR interview. The next company that has visited the campus is MEESHO. It's a startup, but it's a well-known startup, and they have offered only the data scientist role. So their requirement was there shouldn't be any backlog for the appearing students. So there is no requirement for CGPA, but the students shouldn't have any backlog. And students should have some expertise in data science and machine learning. And they was offering base salary was 22 LPA and the CTC was 25.5 LPA. And the selection process was online test followed by a technical interview. Next company that has visited the campus is Louis. So it has offered two types of role. One is data scientist and second one is associate software engineer. So their requirement was that you should have 60% overall along with no backlog in your academic career. And they're offering, for both the roles, they was offering a 17 LP as base salary and 24.9, that means approximately 25 lakhs per annum as a CTC. And their selection criteria was, first they will, shortlist CV, then they will give a pre-placement talk, followed by there will be an online test, then there will be a technical interview, and finally there will be a HR round or HR interview. The next company was MathWorks. So it has offered three types of role for the students. So first was engineer in engineering development group, that is for masters and dual degree students. So the CGP criteria was 8 and above, and there shouldn't be any current backlogs. And the CT salary was 29.37 lakhs per annum, and base salary was 22.5 lakhs per annum. The next was senior engineer in the engineering development role for PhD student. Here the CGP requirement was 8 and above. Here the base salary is 25.04 LPA and CTC was 32.31 LPA. And finally, PhD for senior engineer in this engineering development group. So here the requirement was 7 CGP or above without any backlog. And here also the CTC and base salary is similar to the previous role. Base salary is 25.04 LPA and CTC was 32.31 LPA. And their selection criteria is again similar. First, they will shortlist CV, then there will be a pre-placement talk, then there will be an online test, then there will be a group discussion, technical interview, and finally the HR interview. Next company is CEREBRAS. So it has offered applied ML engineers, and the requirement was you have to have an m.tech degree in CS and with AI courses like m.tech in AI or m.tech research in CS with AI course or thesis. And the base salary was quite high. It was 35 LPA. I think it is one of the highest base salary that is being offered to the students in this year placement. And CTC was 40 LPA. And their selection criteria was there will be CV shortlisted, pre-placement talk, and technical interview. So there is no online test as such. So there is no such test. Your CV will be shortlisted based on how well you worked for last 1.5 year. Followed by there will be a technical interview, and based on that you will be selected. Next company is CISCO. It's a very well-known system company, and it has offered ASIC engineer or hardware engineer, but it's for m.tech in microelectronics and VLSI students only. They offered this role, and they didn't mention about the base or CT salary because they have told that it will be shared over email when they will shortlist the CV. So their first step was CV shortlisting, then there is a pre-placement talk, then online test, technical interview, and a Skype HR interview. So their salary they haven't revealed in the job description, but it's mostly for the microelectronics and PLSI student. Next company is Angel One. So they have visited the campus and they have offered three types of role for the IISc student. First was ML engineer. The requirement for this role was that you should have a m.tech degree in computer science and mathematics. And the base salary was 18 LPA and CTC was 20 LPA. The next role that they have offered is data scientist 1. Here also either you should have a BTech degree or M.tech degree or PhD degree in statistics, mathematics background and computer science. Here also the base salary is 18 LPA and CTC is 20 LPA. And finally, data scientist 2. So here they are only accepting M.tech students, and PhD is preferred. And you should have 3 years of experience in data science and machine learning domain or statistics in mathematics background. So here the base salary is 29 LPA and CTC is 32 LPA. And their selection process is CV shortlisting, pre-placement talk, online test, technical interview, and HR interview. The next company that has reached the campus is Capital One. They have offered 2 types of role. One is associate software engineer and next is associate business analyst. So the department which was eligible for appearing for this particular company was CDS, CSA, EC, electrical, physics, and aerospace. So their selection process they didn't mention about, but the base salary that they offered was 24 LPA. And the CTC salary was 34.5 LPA. Next company is MasterCard, which is a very common and very well-known company in IISc scenario, because every year MasterCard used to visit the campus and they used to recruit many students. So this time also they was offering one role, associate business analyst. So their requirement was that you should have 60% throughout your career from 10th, 12th, undergraduate and current education. And you should have, this is open for management students and for M.tech courses in M.tech in AI, CDS, CSA, EC and electrical. And their offering base salary was 25 LPA and CTC was 31 LPA. And their selection process was pre-placement talk, group discussion, technical interview and HR interview. The next company is FUJITSU, which has visited the campus. So the first role that they offered was applied researcher in AI lab. So the M.tech and PhD students are allowed. They are actually base and CTC salary is not clear, but they mentioned that base salary will be around 20 lakhs per annum and CTC will be around 30 lakhs per annum. The next role that they offered is researcher in quantum laboratory. Again, M.tech and PhD students are allowed. Next was researcher pre-doctoral program in AI lab. So this is a pre-doctoral role that they've offered for BTech and M.tech students. So if you are willing to do PhD, maybe after a few years, you can join as a pre-doctoral scientist or researcher and work in the AI lab for a couple of years and publish paper. So this kind of pre-doctoral roles are typically being offered by research lab, and FUJITSU has offered such a role. Next is researcher in AI lab. So that is again for M.tech and PhD student. And next is researcher in data security laboratory. That is again for M.tech and PhD student. And finally, there is a software engineer and developer role that is for BTech and M.tech for CSE, CDS, AI, EC and related stick. So for all the other role, as I said, the base salary was 20 LPA and CTC was 30. But for the system software engineer role, the base salary was 18 LPA and CTC was 25 LPA. And the selection process was CV shortlisting, then pre-placement talk, online test, technical interview and HR interview. Finally, the last company I'll talk about is an international company, that is Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. So I talked about this company in the signal processing video. So I, by mistake, mentioned it as a startup, but later I came to know it's a big semiconductor company from Taiwan. And it has visited the campus specifically for signal processing, microelectronics, this kind of branch. And the only international offer for IISc student, as far as I know, is from this company. So they have also offered, I think, around 9 roles, and their CTC and base salary is same for the 9 roles. So the base salary was around 7.5 Taiwan dollar, and CTC was 22.5 Taiwan dollar. So different role that they have offered, like for example, STD ED engineer, it is for electrical engineer and physical sciences. Then there is RF engineer. There is image processing machine learning engineer for whoever is working in image processing and machine learning. Then there is IT infrastructure engineer, software engineer, machine learning engineer, analog mixed mode engineer, physical design and APR engineer, finally front end engineer. So this different kind of roles that they offered for different branches. So they have different requirement that is mentioned in the job profile. I won't be going into detail of it. But the selection criteria was CV shortlisting, pre-placement talk, technical interview, and HR interview. So this is kind of the only, international offer for IISc student that has come up from this company, and their joining location was Taiwan only. So you have to join in Taiwan if you got selected for this particular company. So yeah, that's it about this video. I talked about around 15 companies which has visited the campus. There are many others. So there are many startups has hit the campus for different departments. So there is a long list. So I won't be going into detail of it because those are not so much well known. So these are 15 companies which is quite well known to the students. So that's why I talked about it. And I talked about their, different eligibility criteria, different roles that they have offered, and the salary structure. So I hope this video will be helpful for all the students who is looking for, the detail about the placement statistics in IISc Bangalore. So I try to give a overall summary of different company that has visited the campus. So if you have liked this video, don't forget to hit the like button and share this video to other people as well, so that this video get more and more reach. And if you have any specific question, you can comment out in the comment section. I'll try to answer it there. Or you may connect me with in the LinkedIn or Instagram. So the link is there in the channel description. You can go and check it out. And if you are new to this particular channel, please subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon so that when I upload new kind of video, you will get a notification. That's it about this video. I'll meet you in the next video. Until then,